Welcome to the Delco Nerd Network Hot Takes. What is a hot take, you may ask? Well, it's where we sit down in a basement and give our thoughts, give our opinions on a game, on a TV show, or a movie. Today, it's going to be a movie, and we're going to be talking about Aquaman. Of course, co-host Chris Trio, as always. What's going on, guys? All right, Trio. Did Aquaman save the DCEU? Let's talk about it.
Did it need saving?
Yeah, 100%
I'm joking. And Jason Momoa's...
As much as I don't like to talk about the fact,
I mean, I don't think Justice League put as like it didn't do well, 100%. I mean, I don't know if it was such a hole in the wheel that
I don't think it did well financially, and it didn't do well critically.
I mean, like fan response. I
feel like people liked it, but like it could have been better. Yeah. And we all know about the muddlings with Warner Brothers behind the scenes and the higher ups. And, you know, Henry Cavill's mustache, and...
the biggest points to make. And but even, like, I don't know, like, Wonder Woman I thoroughly enjoyed. It's muddy in the third act. I think this is better than Wonder Woman. A lot better, personally.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Especially in the
I don't
third
think
act.
I don't think it's... I haven't seen Wonder Woman since we saw it originally.
I watched it, actually, last week.
That third act in Wonder Woman is crap,
It's tough.
The villain, I
I
think we've seen, maybe... No, I'm not going to say that. This is definitely one of the better villains.
Oh, I think
Orm, Ocean Master, is definitely better than Ares.
100%. Yeah. He's more... They did try to play this weird, like, bait and switch thing, and actually, I think it kind of worked in Wonder Woman until... with the bad guy of, like, oh, it is this guy, but then it turned into, very Snydery at the end, with there's a lot of smoke and fire, and it's really hard to see what was happening, whereas this... I think it was a little bit opposite. I think the first act was a little weak. I still enjoyed the first act a lot, but the third act was super strong.
I think the third act was the best, and the second was the weakest. Really? I thought there were... I was kind of telling you this when we came out of the theater, but I think there are a lot of scenes that on their own are fine, but together did not mesh well. Hence, okay, let's take, just for an example, the trench scene and the Sicily scene do not work together in the same movie. They're tonally insanely different. It's just kind of weird.
See, I don't it's funny, that's not even the stuff that...
And it's not that it's like a bad thing, it's just strange. You know? It is just weird. We go from Pitbull's fucking Africa song, which
that was
terrible,
the weirdest part to me.
To this horror movie,
and
which is really cool.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I don't know, I think it all kind of meshes... within that realm. I think it is a big leap, but I think it works for me. It's funny, that part, there's two very weird music cues in this
There's
movie.
A few.
I think there's only two. Otherwise, because they're actually not scores.
Okay, let me...
two with Africa.
There's a score one. Go ahead.
The Africa one when they're walking out of the ocean, and 100%. It's like obviously like this weird
and as
shot.
I just like look to look at you, and I'm just like, what the fuck is
And then there
this?
was another, when it cuts to, I don't think this one would have been as weird if the first one wasn't so weird, was with Black Manta, and he's making his helmet. It was a weird music.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like Suicide Squad where it was these super well-known songs being shoved in your face. It was these weird, like...
Well, like, the Pitbull one was, like, made for the movie, and it's just like, what?
That screams studio. So you know the studio was like, hey, James, we need to put this Pitbull song in the movie somewhere, because we know everyone loves Pitbull. And he's like, God, fine, I'll film a shot of them walking out of the goddamn beach so you can get that. But what was the score one that you thought was weird?
Right after that, when they land in the Sahara, when they're on the ground, this weird, like, quirky, like, Danny Elfman song comes on, and it's really weird.
I didn't notice
I don't know
that
if
one.
you noticed it, but it's just like they're making, like, a joke at each other, and honestly, I think that part of the movie's the weakest part, the Sahara part. It's a little weird.
One thing that does... So they get... I like that part when they get to, like, the ancient Atlantean city and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then they do get the map. And I liked the vibes going on. It was very... They even talked about this, like, almost Indiana Jones kind of treasure hunter vibes. And I enjoyed that part. Spelunking. I thought it was cool just seeing Aquaman out of his element very heavily, as in, like, he's in the Sahara Desert. He's not anywhere near a fucking sea. And they've done that a few times in the comics. And they
kind of do it in Justice League.
Yeah.
He's barely in the water in that.
Well, but the idea with at least Aquaman in the comics is like, as long as he's as long as he's hydrated, he's good. So like when you get him in, like if he's like in a kind of moist atmosphere, if he's like in like the Sahara is gonna be worse for him than if he's just outside the water in like maybe a forest climate or like a less, what's the word I'm looking for, harsh climate. If that makes any sense. But no, I don't know. I actually like that part a lot, especially when the King Atlan comes up and he gives the whole thing. He's like, in this trident. The way he sounds is so... It kind of reminded me of Odin in Thor. He's like, but you're not king!
But you're not king!
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. But I really like that. I thought Atlantis was just... Hold on. Actually, bar that. Before we even get into that, special effects-wise, this movie, phenomenal.
And I think it blows even... I think... Marvel doesn't do a good job with CGI most of the time if people don't talk about it. Yeah. This blows, I think, and everything we've seen out of the water.
The stuff
no pun intended.
Yeah. I thought they do the de-aging thing in this, which I think Marvel does a little bit better.
Well, we didn't get an up-close shot of Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe wasn't.
Who else is de-aged?
What's his name? He's Boba Fett, or Jango Fett. I can't remember what his name is.
Jango.
But he's de-aged. Nicole Kidman, she already looks pretty good, so she was de-aged a little bit.
Was she?
Yeah, a tiny bit. Because I could notice certain things.
Was that her real hair, the blonde? I know she's blonde.
I think it was. But
obviously, when she was gray and older, towards the end, it was a wig.
Yeah, no, they de-aged her a little. She looked like if you're not, like, I was looking for it. I was really hardcore looking at it to see if there was any, like, and I think she did have some, but, like, you have to really scope it out. The guy, his dad, I feel like was a little bit more noticeable, but it wasn't bad. But, like, just... This movie wouldn't have worked, I think, even 10 years ago, like, to make. Or even, like, just the way special effects have come along and the way, like... I mean, the hair looks insane. Like, when it's waving in the
funny?
fucking...
I just put up Tron poster. Yeah. Tron is another movie that, like, the original was made in the 80s, and it really just doesn't work.
Doesn't.
Like, how can you...
You can't create that, and it's like...
And they redid it, and, like, it's like, wow. Like, you couldn't... You made this movie 30 years ago, and it really didn't work.
Yeah. But now you came back, we have the technology, we can get... And even they made, like, I told you this, an Aquaman pilot for the CW. And, like, you see the swim... And it's funny, for the time and for a TV budget, it's not terrible, like, the swimming effects, but, like, I really fucking like the way he basically, like, they, like, fly through the water and stuff, like, all the Atlanteans and all that, the way they move and all that shit's really cool. And all his, like... The one scene where Volko's introducing him to his powers and he's... I was about to say flying, swimming underwater, and then he's like, and then he finally kind of uses Atlantean senses to see everything and all. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, because I was like, how are they gonna make this like? How does he see? And then
not that the powers were like Aquaman's powers are tough to understand, but I think they did visualize them pretty well at different points in the movie. And
Volko does a good job of sort of explaining it, like when he's doing that. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I really think. Like, one of the biggest things of this movie is the fact that, like, I would say maybe, like, 45% of it's underwater, give or take.
I think I'd say 60-40 water.
Okay, sure.
But
sure.
I could be, that's
whatever.
Yeah.
I think the voices were great. I like how they put, like, this, like...
The, like, bubbly...
They put, like, a mask over it to, like, make it sound like they were underwater, and it wasn't weird enough. It made sense, because, like... You know, if they were just talking normally underwater, we probably wouldn't have said anything, but they went out of their way to kind of, like, differentiate.
And even when there's almost, like, this effect, like, you're looking through water when they are underwater a little bit. Like, there's a part where Volko's talking to Orm, and I that's the part I mostly noticed it at, but it looked like you were actually looking through water. Yeah, James Wan, man, he really pulled this together in a way of, like, it shouldn't have worked.
Who was the director who directed the motions and stuff for the underwater stuff? Because
he was the guy who said
like the choreography.
The fighting and stuff, or are you talking about just swimming?
But like the swim motions and how they moved, and like even the hair was pretty cool. Like, everyone looked like really good underwater, and there was never a point I was like, this looks shitty.
Yeah.
There was never a point. There are some scenes where, like, they go into when they first get to Atlantis, they go into a bubble underwater, and they're
few and far. Yeah,
but like that really doesn't happen much. And going over to the fighting looks fucking cool. Not even the fighting underwater, but above water. The first fight scene we get with Atlana is it's a one-shot fight, and it's a really cool shot.
The action.
Most of the fight scenes in the
action scenes,
are great.
Really
good. Better than, not better, but like they're
fresh. They're different.
They're fresh, and they're different from not what just we've seen in DC, more comparison towards Marvel, because we just have more of those movies. And I feel like Marvel kind of sticks to this, like, fine line.
There's a lot more punchy powers in Marvel. And it's funny because Aquaman is a punchy kind of guy, but he has the trident. Yeah. I never knew I wanted trident fights so bad in my life until I saw this movie.
Even the choreography with, like, Jason Momoa, like, the way he holds it and, like, his stances are really cool. Dude, but, like, Marvel, we were talking about this in the theater, the only character that even parallels Aquaman in Marvel is Namor. Yeah. And I don't think we're ever going to see Namor. He's such an Aquaman clone.
Well, at this point now, especially, like, they can't, at least within the next 5 years, I don't think we'll see that. I wouldn't say never.
And, like, they have Atlantis. Like, it's copy-paste.
Well, that's the thing. They'd have to make Atlantis so different, too, in Marvel's.
Because it'd be like, hey, like, Aquaman did this, and... look at this. It'd probably be better.
And I did want to speak. Yeah, it's true. I wanted to speak about Atlantis a little bit. I really did just like the whole design of like. I like the design of like the ships and shit. Like they were kind of designed to look like that. Like Mara's ship was like some kind of big fish shape, and then what's his name's Orm's was like almost a what are they called? The rays? Ray? Yeah. What are they called? Is that it? Just a ray?
Yeah, a manta ray.
Is that a manta ray? Wow, I feel so stupid. That's
Black Mana.
Yeah. And you learn something new every day. Anyway, no. It was funny. I knew that was a manta, but now I'm like, oh, duh. I feel stupid. Anyways, Atlantis is really freaking cool. I like the whole design. I thought a lot of you were bringing up like Black Panther comparisons.
Right before we went live, you can kind of compare this movie to Black Panther.
There's a few similarities.
They introduced like a nation and a city that hasn't been exposed to mankind. Yeah. So, we're getting like...
And it's very technologically advanced. Yeah. And, what I was saying before, whereas Black Panther, I feel like definitely focuses on Wakanda as almost another character in the movie. I don't think Aquaman leans as much into it, but personally...
Black Panther's a lot more culturally important, not just because they're African and black, but like...
It does have a lot more with old,
The culture is more influential in that clearly because they're in Africa.
It's actually, and it's real life culture.
Atlantis
whereas like Atlanta,
it's and like what's it based on? Like nothing.
Like, and there's like this kind of regal atmosphere because you got like the highborns that they're talking about,
like Roman-esque.
Because they were that old. Yeah, that's actually interesting. So they're more of a comparable to even more recent societies. Whereas like the Atlantis seems to be more based off of like Grecian and like that old style monarchy and. Dude, Orm. Did we talk about Orm at all?
No.
I really loved Patrick Wilson's performance.
Orm looked fucking fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen even the guards. Every Atlantean, like when
costume design, man,
was fucking phenomenal. Like across the board. So Aquaman, cool. Seeing him in a suit was fucking glorious. Yeah. We'll get to that more. Yeah. But Black Manta look awesome.
So good.
Awesome. The white guards, awesome. The red guards, awesome.
So good, yeah.
Everyone looks so fucking cool.
The guns were, like, really interesting. Cool. Like, and I thought it was, like, the interesting touch of how they were talking about how highborns are the only ones that can breathe out of water and underwater. And then you got, like, some guys, I actually thought it was a funny beat where she breaks the dude's helmet and he's, like, freaking out. He's running out of water. Then he looks at the toilet and he's like, fuck. And then he just goes.
See, I didn't like that scene.
Really?
It was a little drawn out. It was a little long. If it was like an instant like thing and like I don't
think it was too long.
I don't know.
Yeah, see, I didn't think they.
That's another scene where I'm just like, why is this here?
See, I was telling you this, I guess, in the theater. There is an element of camp that Aquaman has, obviously, coming into this, and I think that James Wan did a good job of embracing it to a point, and I mean, I really love Momoa's portrayal of the character, and he's like, there's the one scene at the beginning when they're in the bar, and the guy walks up and he's like, "You that fish boy," and you think it's gonna like.
That's
go
another
down.
scene I think is weird.
Really, I fucking loved it, and he's like,
it was a little weird,
and you think he's gonna start a fight, and he's like, "Can I just get a picture?" And I was like, that was funny. I don't know, I liked it.
I liked it, but.
And I don't know. You were saying they weren't getting that many. You didn't think many were landing. I heard audible laughs for 90% of the jokes.
I didn't think a lot of that shit was landing. I don't know.
I think the audience disagreed. That's all I'm gonna say. But barring that aside, I really overall enjoyed this movie. I had a great time with it. It's an origin movie, but I think it's a little
in a way.
Yeah,
it's like half origin, half sequel to Justice League.
Yeah, I really
Not
liked
really.
Atlanta. What's her name?
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman was awesome. Oh, Mara. We didn't talk about Mara.
Yeah, Amber Heard is Mara. Great job.
Awesome.
Zack Snyder really casted these characters well. He
The
did get
chemistry's
executive producer credits, which was pretty cool. It's funny how like I imagine he was barely involved with this project.
Yeah,
like,
throughout the beginning. Well, yeah, and it's because
I mean, like in the
true.
beginning,
Yeah.
he definitely planned a lot of this out. But
well, he helped. Yeah, I did read an interview with James where he was when he signed off with this, he wanted a lot of the creative control when creating it. So like he was like, obviously, I do think Zach was,
which
there.
makes sense.
Yeah,
he wasn't the director. I'm sure Zach would have given it to him.
He had the choice apparently to do this or Flash.
It's
James Wan.
Like I sit here and I think like what would if Zack Snyder's DC universe fully visualized look like at this point I think Wonder Woman like he worked on that movie a decent bit, but I feel like that would have been the same.
That third act shows it to me though. That's the problem.
Is that Zack Snyder's third act?
I believe it is
but like here's the thing, he
Patty
doesn't talk. He barely talks like directly about that stuff right now.
So no. You're right. I don't know. My best guess is that feels super. Everything else felt super Patty Jenkins, and then we got to that third act, and it was very Zack Snyder. I felt like we kind of felt we got back to that smoke and dark, and that could have been Patty's decision. I don't know, but like the third.
But that's where the tonal difference is from Zack Snyder's Wonder Woman take, where she stepped away from humanity. That's where that kind of like is retconned and thrown out the window. Because that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like that.
And it doesn't make any sense, especially because she says 100 years ago in the movie, I gave up on humanity, so that would have been World War I. But now,
that makes sense.
Now they can set it up for the second movie, but it doesn't make any sense then.
She didn't.
And then you're right. There's a lot of because doesn't Arthur know Mara's name in Justice League? Doesn't he call her? Doesn't she say I'm Mara? That's something that he says it.
I mean, like he could have forgotten.
I guess you're right. Yeah,
he literally sits there.
It's like I don't know your name.
And like totally forgets. Yeah,
you're right. That's actually.
I feel like that's a character beat. Like
that's true.
He wouldn't care, especially when he's like really doesn't want to be involved. He probably just is like I don't know.
And I think they gave him a good reason for being so distanced from Atlantis. Like they killed his. Well, they killed his mother. Yeah,
they killed
Lana. It is Black Manta. I thought was good.
Let's talk about Black Manta.
There was some good action beats. I do think Matt pointed this out to me after. I felt like at the beginning.
Been on the show.
Yes.
Red Dead Redemption 2 review.
Check it out. There was these scenes between Black Manta and his dad, and I just felt like Black Manta was over when he was in the suit. It was awesome.
I think that
worked so well. Yeah. But I think when he was kind of
like he was a little bit. He was like baby Black Manta. He wasn't there
yet.
Yeah, the fuel of hatred. Just like Alfred says in Batman v Superman.
I didn't actually hate it. That's the thing. I just thought it was
the rage turns good men cruel. Yeah. We've seen it once. We'll see it twice.
I also liked that. Like, oh, dude, when he gets one. I want to talk about the action scene on the sub too. Actually, I totally forgot about that. I really liked just him going through and just taking everyone down. Someone tries to shoot him, and he just kind of gives him a look, and then he takes him down.
I didn't know Atlanteans were like.
Yeah, they're that strong. He's usually in the comics it draws because their body.
I understand their their
body, the pressure and all.
I guess that makes sense.
That's why they can survive.
They do literally say that.
Yeah,
Falco does.
That's why he can survive the plane.
I'm something of a Atlantean myself.
Yeah. Then he gets when he gets shot with the fucking grenade launcher. That was dope. And he gets back up and he's like, "Ow!" And then he just looks at him, and the throw of the fucking pole, and he's in it. And then I love the part where he's like, "It's dad." And he's like, "That's your son? Shame on you." And then he leaves him there. And he tries to shoot him, obviously gets trapped, and then he just like, no, I'm not going to fucking help you. I like that a lot.
The repurposing of the Atlantean elite armor was pretty cool.
That was a good idea.
Talked about it earlier, but I was like, what's he going to do?
Yeah, how's he going to...
They gave him the gun, and then, he's going to turn the gun
so genius, yeah.
And, they went with the comic book look. It was awesome. I like the way they set him up, because, obviously, we don't know if there's going to be an Aquaman sequel. And if there is, he's probably going to be the villain. But...
Yeah.
They can totally use him in this Legion of Doom or Injustice League movie.
Meanwhile, the Legion of Doom,
whatever that's going to be, Deathstroke and Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
easy. Easy.
It was fun. I thought when he's watching. So spoilers. Now we're getting into spoiler territory. We've kind of been there. When he kind of gets beaten down by Aquaman. So did you like that? You didn't like that action scene with him fighting Manta?
No, I did.
So you did. Okay.
I didn't like the part where
you didn't like the character beat. when they were like,
we're falling in love in Italy, and
see, I thought that was a cute little moment.
I kind of like the part where she ate the flowers. Like, I didn't laugh, but I thought it was like kind of cute.
Yeah. But no, that whole action scene when he shows up and then he shoots him, and he's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? It's good. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
And his whole the sound of his voice, he's like, "You'll know me," and then he whips out.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's cool.
It really is awesome.
I thought they set him up. Just like, I mean, so I saw people giving this portion of the movie shit. What about Hawkeye and Thor? What the fuck is he doing in there?
I'm confused. Like, so they were saying, why is Black Manta
in this movie? And I'm like, why was Hawkeye and Thor? To set him up. That's it.
Yeah, no, it was
literally like you think about that. Why is he in that movie? For no reason. Just the fact that he's there.
Well, no, and the thing... It actually...
Don't give this shit. There's no point.
I do think it's fun. If you really want to go through and nitpick some old movies, even especially Marvel movies and all that stuff, you could really pick them apart.
You really
So there's
can.
When I see people going off on shit about
them the last year, and some of them, like Thor 1 is like better than I thought, but like you get to Dark World and it's like, what the fuck is this?
I fucking love Marvel and I love all the movies they've created, but some people look at all their shit through rose-colored glasses, and I think that's a lot of the like critics too. It's where I don't know
when we get hit with a bad Marvel movie, I think that's gonna like push Marvel to do something different because it's gonna happen. It happened with Iron Man 3, but like we still weren't
not to an extent of like
we still weren't we weren't there.
It wasn't ship killing or anything. I don't even think that. There's parts of that movie I don't hate, but that's a whole other podcast. Getting back to when he gets his armor and stuff, the third act, we'll finish up with that, I guess, unless I'm trying to think. Is there anything else you want to talk to before?
We'll figure it out.
I liked one thing I do want to say about Arthur and Mara. I did like their chemistry too. I felt like they worked very well.
I'll disagree with that.
Really, I thought they were.
I think it was like we know Mara and Arthur Curry are married and King and Queen of Atlantis. We know that. So we have this preconceived notion that it's going to happen one way or the other.
True, and but that doesn't mean it works.
I don't think it was very believable that she like automatically like just falls in love with him.
I don't think
I would have appreciated the fact if they set it up but didn't fully visualize it yet. I don't think there was enough time to set up their romance.
I felt like
and therefore marriage.
I felt like they weren't. I don't think they were getting. I mean, you assume they're going to get married.
It's going to happen,
but like. I thought there were three main beats of like, oh, it's turning her around. Like one, he thanks her for saving her. I can understand that. He's kind of I don't know. I think he showed like, no, I'm a pretty fucking cool guy, and I've been dealt a shitty hand, and I'm actually a really good guy. And she's realized it. I don't know. I felt like
I never thought she thought he was like really that shitty.
Well, not shitty, no, but like
I just think she like she needs to get him. She doesn't.
It's funny everyone calling him like half breed. Like they like people of Atlantis do not like Arthur. At least at the beginning. Because they're just fed just bullshit the whole time. But this whole third act, I really love that whole battle just between Atlantis and the Brine. All the creature designs.
I was just going to bring up, between the creature designs, but we see a lot of kingdoms of Atlantis. Either, we see Zebel and Atlantis. Yeah. Dolph Lundgren and Mira's people.
Yeah.
We see the fishermen, we see the Brine, we see the trench, and there's one more.
Who were the fishermen? You already said the fisherman village, right?
Yeah. Who was the last one?
You said trench. You already. I don't know. Maybe we did miss because I thought two of them were lost. He said the trench, or was that the Brine too?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I don't know. Maybe we didn't. Maybe that's the lost kingdom of Atlantis. I don't know. So wait, is Aquaman now the Ocean Master?
No. Ocean Master was
because he wanted to control the entire seven. Yeah.
Ocean Master is like, from what I understood, was like a militaristic title that like happened if you control like all the armies. Like, I thought when they name drop Ocean Master, I'm just like,
it's like so you'll be
fucking
Ocean Master.
Yeah. I can't get over it. The final fight. Well, let's talk about how he gets the armor and the trident.
So he finds Atlan's tomb, whatever it is. But what were we about to say there?
God.
We get there. We find out Atlanta is actually, in fact, alive. They travel through this portal that's in the Trench Kingdom.
That part was confusing. I got a little.
I meant to look it up.
I got a little lost.
So they literally teleported
the
to
hidden sea in the Earth's core.
In the Earth's core, yeah. So I don't know if that's an actual. I'm actually gonna Google that right now because I'm curious if it's
that.
Real.
For me, that part was like, whoa! Like I got lost. Like I thought I like blinked.
You were like, wait, where are we?
Yeah, I was like, where the fuck are we? Like
I can totally get how that would happen. I definitely was. I was kind of like, oh, okay. Well, but it is weird. It's weird. What was it called? the hidden C in the Earth core. Yeah,
hidden C in the Earth core. How did you like Mira's powers?
Visually, I thought they were really fucking cool. Like,
I like how like she was like a mage and like really differentiated her and Aquaman. Maybe that's like a specialty of like the Zebel people, Zebellians, Zebelites.
Mm-hmm.
Zibble.
No, Zebel.
Hobbity.
But what was I about to say? Yeah, so we get to the Earth's core. That's where. So the King Atlan's trident has been hidden since Atlantis fell.
And him.
And he went into exile. And Aquaman finds it. He finds his mother, and she tells him he has to go. The only way out of the Earth's core is to get the trident. So he goes in to prove he's worthy. So we find out. Throughout the movie, Aquaman has been communicating with fish. But we find out that this is
on a lower level.
On a lower level, yeah, like not having direct conversation, but like he can communicate with them on some level, whereas Atlanteans can't do that normally. I guess we didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And apparently, the only one that was able to do that before was King Atlan, and we get to his resting place. And what was the name of the creature? Do you remember?
Was it a Kraken? No, it's a Krathen.
Krathen. So it's this gigantic. Who's it voiced by? Judy? Is it Judy? No, not Judy Dench. Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Not Judy Foster, is it? Look it up. Fuck the other score.
No, I think you're actually right. Judy Foster. So you think it's kind of going to be this big knockdown, drag out fight with the monster, and then it ends up him just like it's just you're hearing her just shit on him.
And then he gets the armor and the trident. I like how they talk about how the trident's not really just like a trident.
No,
I don't know.
it's
got
a source of power.
It's got a lot of power, and like you see it like first thing when he picks it up, and even when he fights Ocean Master towards the end. And then we see the iconic suit, which fucking looks great.
Oh, dude.
It looks so good.
Oh my god, I love it. And he really does like Rocket. You would never fuck with that guy. Like, and I just love the chainmail look. The green looks great. I love like the I don't know what to call it. The gauntlets. Like the way that they kind of flay off. It's so dope. I've been talking to Gooch about this for like years. I was like, we need that fucking Aquaman suit, or I'm gonna go insane. And I'll give it to James Wan. He made all of this come to life in a very not silly way. But it's a very silly character. And don't get me wrong, there are very silly parts, and they embrace that camp, like I said. But yeah, but that Aquaman Ocean Master fight.
Holy shit! Oh, the fucking king.
It's so good. Yeah.
Let me get real for a sec. Not many there are not enough capes in the superhero shit. At all. There really isn't. Either they've had, like, Thor had a cape and they ditched it, but, like, there are not enough capes.
He has it in Infinity War.
Oh, yeah,
when he comes back. Yeah. But continue.
There's not enough capes. There needs more capes.
More capes. I agree. But there's just the cinematography in this movie is fucking amazing, in my opinion. Like, just the shots. There are some weird uses of slow-mo near the beginning, but there's this once, like, when they get on top of the...
That scene was really
weird. Get on top of the ship, and then the way like they go down, the clang of the trident hitting metal or just anything is so good. And then Ocean Master just comes back up and looks behind, his cape's flowing in the wind, and they just have this fucking awesome fight. And then he breaks his fucking trident.
Yeah, and that happens before when they fight the Ring of Fire.
Yeah, he breaks. So
they kind of have like two fights.
Yeah,
and they
there's like the underwater one, and the above surface.
And Ocean Master could come back.
Yeah, he's not killed. He's arrested.
In Justice League setup, whatever. He's not dead. But, like, neither are most of Marvel's people anymore.
Yeah. That should be interesting.
So, one thing I don't think we got a bunch of was world building. We got
greater DC world.
We got a Steppenwolf name drop, and here it comes to
get
him for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. We get a few news articles, which look... I've watched... the new scenes in BVS when the Must There Be a Superman scene. The way they cut during those scenes in Aquaman sounds exactly like, or the way they cut are exactly like they are in BVS. And I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not.
Yeah,
probably. But, we barely get enough there. There's not much. There really isn't much world building here.
Which, honestly, good.
Really?
Good. DC has been trying. We hear about a new DC movie coming out every day. We hear They really there's about 70 references in Batman vs Superman. I appreciate them. But that Batman v Superman is a world building movie, whereas they should be focusing more on their.
Wasn't, but I think it did enough.
Whereas, like, I think this does just as much as say, Iron Man 1 or like something like
Iron Man 1
that barely sets up Shield and him. That's it. It focuses on Iron Man.
Okay,
it is an origin movie, and I think DC really needs to this proves it. Give your movies to good directors with a vision and let them do what they want to do. Don't get so caught up in the team-ups and the continuities. And Marvel did it right. They did it good. They started well.
I actually don't know. Did Zack Snyder lay out how he wanted his films, or did the higher-ups lay that out?
I have no idea. I mean, it seems like I think he probably did at the beginning because he seemed to have full creative control over Batman vs Superman. He spent so much. They gave him a boat and everything. Basically, figuratively, to do that. Like, but I think he maybe in that time period he did, but now, who knows? Yeah, I think it's mostly Walter Hamada, I think is his name, who runs DC Films now. He's the guy who used to do the Conjuring universe, so he's been trying to really. Yeah, well, that's James Wan came from that. He was, I mean, Patrick Wilson was in that, so that makes total sense.
No, well, Zack Snyder casted it as a master, didn't he?
No, that was.
Are you sure about that?
100%. He wasn't in. He only cast Mara and Volko and Aquaman.
Okay. I feel like James Wan definitely got a note because, like, Patrick Wilson's in.
I think he probably knew. Yeah, well, and also he's in all of his movies.
That's what I'm saying.
So like, he was probably
seems like a Zach move.
Oh, to get Patrick. Oh, no. I'm saying Patrick Wilson's in all of James Wan's movies, so it makes total sense that he'd pick him. I mean, Patrick Wilson's only been in Watchmen with Zack Snyder.
Still.
True, but. Yeah, I mean, overall, other casts, like Dolph Lundgren, I think is fantastic in it.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, he's just cool. I think he's just cool.
Dolph Lundgren.
It is, yeah. No, but I liked seeing him in that. It was cool seeing him as King Nereus. Yeah, I don't know. I was happy with it.
So
I really
wanted to kind of end the discussion here. I actually, since I didn't say it, I did enjoy the movie. I think it's got some problems, and I think it's got some good parts. It's a fine movie. Mm-hmm. It's good. Is it saving the DCEU? No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen the box offices? Have you seen? I think this is going to be big. It's a start. Okay, I shouldn't say it's saving. It's a for sure step in the right direction.
I'll agree there. But is it like? Did it like fucking like pick up its sword and shield again? No. I think the real test is going to be like not even Wonder Woman 84, but like, and not even Shazam in a way, but like after that. Like, what comes after Wonder Woman? I think this is like nothing.
No one movie's gonna save the DCEU. I think this is a fantastic step in the right.
I tend to disagree.
That's not how it works, especially after the shitstorm they've gone through.
We need one movie to like. What one movie got everyone onto Marvel?
That's the thing. I think it was Avengers. And they fucked that up already, DC. So I don't know what to tell. I really that Avengers was that culmination, and I think right now they don't need to focus on that culmination and these big gigantic. Keep doing what you're doing with Aquaman. Give me Shazam. Make sure if it's as good, if not better than this, I'll be totally happy.
I feel like Shazam's gonna be better than Aquaman, because I think it knows what it wants to be, and it's easy to be what it wants to be.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a jokey movie because that's Shazam. You know.
Yeah, and I mean
who's directing that?
David F. Swinberg. He's actually a horror director.
What's he directed?
He's directed Lights Out. If you ever heard of that, it's a horror movie.
Is that Jennifer Lawrence?
Might be. I don't remember. It's pretty popular, apparently. See, like, I don't know. I don't think, like, everyone... most people coming out of this, I think, are saying good things. I've heard, like critical response has been, like, 8s and 7s.
Yeah, and it's making a lot of money.
It's making good money. And
that's good.
I think there's been good word of mouth. I don't know. I think they took a character that most people thought couldn't be done and did it pretty fucking well, and I think that's another big thing.
And Marvel hasn't done anything like this, which is
very different. And
and Shazam is going to be another thing that really Marvel hasn't done anything like.
Yeah, no, it's going to be super
which is nice, which is cool. They're doing these characters that aren't parallels to anyone in Marvel, which is good.
I mean, I have faith. Give me 4 more good.
I still have faith. I don't think this it didn't rocket my, I'm not like up here. I'm still like where I was before I saw the movie.
I'm definitely more high on it now. Like even the more I think about the movie, I want to go see it again. I'm probably going to go see it again with Super and that at some point. But I I really enjoyed it. I think it's a fun ride. I think there are some weird tone things, but for the most part, I think it's thoroughly consistent and just a good time at the movies. I go see it in IMAX too. I really thought it was fucking cool. Just a spectacle visually. It hasn't gotten any Oscar or visual things, which I think is a bit of a snub. Because even like Marvel and them have got like Star Wars got visual. Like it did some crazy VFX works, but we can't have everything we want, I guess. Is there anything else you want to say about Aquaman, Gooch?
No, but I want to say, talking about the future of DC for just one more second.
Sure thing.
What's going to come after Wonder Woman 1984? What's next?
So we have Joker next year.
Oh, jeez, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we have Joker.
Well, I mean, okay, that's not DCEU.
Birds of Prey.
True. The Harley Quinn thing.
That's that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So it's Birds of Prey.
So it's Shazam, Joker next year. Birds of Prey the
Wonder
next
Woman
year.
1984 is June 2020.
So 2020 is going to be Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman. 2019 is going to be Shazam and the Joker. I don't think there's any other movies. I mean, I'm excited for Joker, especially because it's not in the main continuity.
I don't know.
Like, we need more of these Elseworld stories. Especially, that's where one thing Marvel especially likes. The continuity is so constrictive sometimes. I want to see something new and cool and different.
You're right.
They can't do it in that continuity.
You're all right. And
like, we can have our continuity over here, but then show me a few weird,
look at
stories.
what Elseworlds like the Elseworlds crossover for the CW.
Yeah, CW, yeah.
Like they're so like willing just to do these crazy shit.
Well, and
I don't think Marvel will ever get there.
Well, I think
it's just so hard.
CW especially has done a good job of filling you in and getting you akin to these multi-universes.
And they started with Flash season 2 essentially. Yeah.
And you even almost season. Yeah, exactly. And they've really kind of made it a big staple of the DC, and it is in the comics too.
Yeah.
So Marvel doesn't have that. Where there are multiple universes in Marvel, but it's just not as big.
We see that in like Into the Spider-Verse. That's a big. Spider-Man's a big like multiverse kind of character.
Yeah,
there's so many different versions. Really is. Yeah, we don't get. There's no like 7 versions of Iron Man like there is with like.
I think there probably are, but we just don't. Well, not in the same sense of there's different versions of Tony Stark probably that we've seen, but not whereas like there's Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales Spider-Man and Spider-Ham. Like you got all these really different cuts, deep cuts and difference, and that's a great movie too. So go see that. Yeah. And Aquaman. Go see both of these. Yeah. I think that wraps me up there.
I'm done.
Are you done?
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to think. Any housekeeping we want to get out?
So this last podcast for 2018.
Oh yeah.
We're done. Next month, we're gonna be reviewing Titans whenever you watch it.
I guess I'm just gonna have to watch it on my computer. It's fine, but or I can buy a Chromecast for like $30.
Get a Chromecast.
Yeah, I might just do that. But sorry.
And then we're gonna review Glass. No games next month because nothing's really coming out. Well, Kingdom Hearts is coming out, but it's right at the end of the month, so it'll probably be a February or even a March review. And then for the podcast, we're going to be talking about moving into the Infinite Crisis crossover for next year for CW because we got Elseworlds, and honestly, I didn't expect them to drop the Infinite Crisis thing.
Well, apparently they were thinking about making that the title of this year's crossover. Then they're like, no, wait, hold on, let's really build up to that.
And I think this is huge.
Like they brought in 90s Flash. I was telling Gooch, I was like, man, what if they brought in like Tom Welling's Superman?
I think we're getting there.
Like that would be insane.
I think we're getting to Michael Rosenbaum, Lex Luthor. I think this is building up to that, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about. We're going to bring on Billy for that. I don't know what we're doing for the other two. Probably just me and you for Titans, unless
we have someone else that pops up.
But yeah, that's kind of what we have looking forward to. Next month, we should be getting some new equipment soon for the podcast, and another light and a pop filter for the mic.
So a little bit more quality improvements. Also, I did relaunch the Whatever Letter last Wednesday. We're going every 2 weeks now. I think that every 1 week
we haven't put my script up there.
Oh yeah, well, it'll come soon. It'll come.
Yeah.
But I just put up one.
I gotta get that VO done for that.
I just put up one about the kind of the Defenders Netflix kind of debacle going on over there. I'm going to be doing them every 2 weeks now, though, every Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that. Go check out my other ones. I have 4 up. No, I have like 6 or so out there already. But anything else, Gooch?
No, that's it.
Awesome. For all you watching on Twitch Live, if you're here, thank you so much. We thoroughly appreciate you watching. You can find us on Facebook.com/Delco Nerd Network, as well as YouTube. Just search Delco Nerd Network. Instagram and Twitter at the Delco Nerds. You can find this in audio format. Go to just Apple Podcasts or Google Play. Please drop us a review on there if you like us. It really helps us out. It kind of pushes us up there. Helps us with the whole algorithm bullshit. Am I missing anything, Gooch?
No.
Thank you guys so much. Have a happy holiday, and we'll see you next year.